Greetings to the high net worth investors out there. I'm Stephen Boswell here with my colleague Kevin Nichols, and we're here today to talk about getting the most from your financial advisor, specifically in your portfolio review meetings.
For over 20 years, the Oxley Institute has done research on affluent investors and financial advisors, and we found that there's certain things that are so essential in terms of having a good relationship.
Right. And even if you have a great financial advisor, they need your cooperation. They need your insights to make that service experience top-notch.
Absolutely.
And part of this comes right out of the recent research we did this year. We were looking at it earlier today, Kevin, about the number of review meetings that the affluent investor wants with their financial advisor.
And the findings really are across the board here.
They were. I'll read some of these off to you. 6.8% of you wanted no meetings with your advisor throughout the year.
You prefer just not to meet with them at all.
Right. Which is, hey, to each their own, right? 23% want one time per year.
That's pretty popular.
32% want twice per year. That was the leader.
That was the number one.
12% 3 times a year. 18% 4 times a year. 2% 5 times a year. And 4.5% at 6 or more times per year. Now,
that's a lot of meetings.
That's a lot of meetings. 4, 5, or 6 times a year, maybe a little bit of overkill. We may be overthinking things a little bit, but again, to each their own. And part of the takeaway out of this is that you all have unique needs when it comes to communication.
Right. And the key here is to have an open dialogue with your financial advisor about what makes sense for you. I mean, how frequently do you want to be having these meetings? Because if you're having meetings too frequently, it might become annoying.
Right. If I'm somebody who wants to get together with you twice a year and you're calling me twice a week, that is annoying.
Right.
And on the flip side, if I'm somebody who wants to meet with you once a month and I never hear from you, that's troublesome as well.
Yeah.
And even for the best of financial advisors out there, they have to think in generalities about what their client base really needs. Mm-hmm. And so they might think, well, on average, we feel confident that 4 reviews per year is important. But without your input, they might not know that you want 8 or you want 1 or 2, but they love that input.
And your financial advisor will truly appreciate this type of conversation. So you should bring it up to them and then, meet on and come to agreement on terms of frequency of contact.
And what these meetings are covering. That's another big issue.
Huge issue.
So let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the nature of these portfolio review meetings.
Just as important as the frequency.
You bet. And many people think that the only thing you're covering in these meetings should be the investment performance. After all, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, and there's so much more that your financial advisor is capable of covering with you and would like to cover with you.
You bet. And a good financial advisor out there, and there are many of them, will cover a financial planning process, college planning, estate planning, overseeing your insurance protection.
Relationships with other professionals.
More and more, they can talk to you about your mortgages. I mean, there are a number of things you can get into, but at times, you want to let your financial advisor know if something's on your mind, if something's pressing you, that you're paying for your son's college. I mean, those types of things have to be a two-way street of letting them know some things that you'd like to cover beyond the portfolio, the asset allocation, and the investment returns. Because if you're an affluent investor out there, if you've got a few bucks to rub together, Kevin, you need a good financial advisor to help give you some objective advice and to steer through what could be some rocky seas.
Absolutely. So when you think about it, we need another open dialogue here, right? Talk to your advisor about the frequency of contact. Talk to them about things that are on your mind to make sure that you're both getting the most out of that relationship.